Warning: the content you are about to see is my opinion on certain topics. I do not want to offend anyone in any way. If you feel offended or do not like what I say, you should turn off the video. I will have no filter, so I'm warning you now. Viewer discretion is advised. I hope you enjoy. All right. What's up, everybody? This your boy Big Rob, aka Rob the Poet, and we're back with another episode of Open Your Mind Podcast. This is the show where I talk about topics from my point of view. And just remember, you may not like what I have to say, but listen with an open mind before you make a judgment. Now I know I've been gone for about a couple weeks. I had some things to take care of. Still kind of take care of some things, but I'm gonna try to be more consistent with it. So there it is. I know I ain't got the biggest following or anything like that, but I told myself that I would try to stay as consistent as possible. So I would definitely try to honor that. But today, some things that happened today where I want to talk about it as an overall topic. Bad drivers. I consider myself a very good driver. Growing up, driving just always came naturally to me. My dad actually taught me how to drive at 10 years old. Not saying taught me where he had me in his lap and driving. No. He put me behind the driver's seat. He was in the passenger seat, and we went to a school parking lot. Now, granted, just a parking lot, but I had free reins. He told me how to turn. He told me how to park, speed up, how to stop at a distance and stuff like that. So when I got my license at 18, driving just became easy to me. Now, I learned how to drive. For some reason, I like to drive very fast. I like to get to where I'm going. I swerve in and out of traffic, and some people hate driving with me. My mom actually, a couple years ago, she hurt her knee and tore MCL. So I was actually her chauffeur because it was in her driving leg, so she couldn't drive. I was her chauffeur, and I drove her around for a couple weeks or a few weeks. I don't know how long it was, but it was a long time. And she hated the way I drive. Not necessarily I drove crazy, but I drove the way I told her, I was like, hey, I drive a certain way. You're going to have to just deal with this. And she sat in the back seat. My mom did not drive in the front seat with me. She sat in the back seat holding on to a little handle thing and try to backseat drive me all the time. And that's one of my things. Don't backseat drive me. I tell you beforehand, I drive a certain way. If you don't like the way I drive, don't ride in the car with me. My friends know that. And so if they choose to get in the car with me, they know how I drive. I'm not a crazy driver. I just know how to drive. I drive like I'm in Need for Speed or something. I can go in through the cars, but like I'm very precise the way I drive. So, but people around me, as far as like the drivers while I'm on the road, cannot drive. I almost got hit 3 times today. Almost killed me, and it wasn't even my fault. One of them maybe was my fault, but they were in my blind side, so I couldn't really count that. I was trying to make a right turn, but for some reason they kind of snuck up on the side of me, and as I was turning, they were already right there. I did not see them. Almost got into that. 5 minutes later, I'm trying to make a left turn. Someone's on the inside of it. It's 2 turn lanes, one on the left, one on the right. I'm on the outer side. I'm trying to turn. The other person wasn't supposed. They didn't want to be in that lane, so they were trying to go straight. I'm turning. They're going straight. Almost died. So I had to let. They almost hit me. They was like this close to hitting me, and so I had to let them go past. 2 seconds later, somebody come off the ramp, exiting the highway, trying to swerve 3 lanes. Was this close to hitting me. Man, I was driving around for Uber at the time, and I told myself, man, I got to get home. I almost died 3 different times. People cannot drive. I hate the way people drive because there's certain things that people do that I don't do, and it gets me real mad. Texting and driving. If you're going to text and drive, first of all, you should not be texting and driving. But if you're going to text and drive, know how to text and drive. Don't sit there looking down for a minute to 2 minutes straight trying to text and you swerving and stuff going 40 miles an hour because you can't drive fast while texting. Either you can text and drive, but just know how to text and drive. But if you can't do that, don't be going slow and text and driving and swerving because I'm in a rush. And so I don't know, you're unpredictable. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm trying to get around you, but then you swerving in my lane because you're looking down. I'm going to honk my horn at you. I'm going to ride your coattail and I'm going to get on the side of you. I'm going to do something, but please do not text and drive. Pay attention to the road. That bothers me so much. Another thing, slow drivers. While we're on top of slow drivers in general, there are on the highway. There are 3 different lanes. Know which lane you want to be in, and know how each lane works. If you're in the very left lane, that's the passing lane. Those people are going to be driving fast. If you're not going to be passing or if you're not going to be driving fast, please get out of the lane because I'm coming full steam. And if I'm going 75, 80 miles an hour and you going 70 miles an hour, yes, that is the speed limit, which is 70. But I'm trying to pass you. Get out my way. Get into another lane. I'm coming fast. Like I will ride your bumper because you need to get out my way. And that's it. That is what it is. The middle lane is if you're trying to go the speed limit. If you're just trying to cruise and go the speed limit, get in that middle lane. Everybody in that middle lane knows what it's for. And so just mosey on down that middle lane. Now, if you want to go slow because you're scared to drive, i.e. my mom hates getting on the highway. And the speed limit is 70. She would go 65 to 60 miles an hour. Sometimes she even go 55. And I hate driving with her when she's on the highway. But for those people who like to do that, get in that right lane. The right lane is for people exiting and for people going slow. You would be more comfortable in that lane because everybody else around you is going fast. I hate slow drivers because I'm constantly going fast. Get out of my way. Let me do my Need for Speed. Let me do my NASCAR and we'll be okay. Next, people who ride my bumper. Now, if you ride my bumper, that means you going fast, just as fast as me or faster than me. I'm going 80 miles an hour. You got to be going right at 80 or you coming up on 85. If you ride my bumper, you might need to slow down because I'm already driving fast. So you might need to slow down. Please don't ride my bumper. I will brake check you and you're not going to like that. I brake check so many people if they get around me and start trying to cuss me out or stick the finger at me. That's fine. I don't really care. But don't ride my bumper. I don't ride people's bumpers. I don't want you to do stuff to me that I don't do to other people. Let's just get that out. Let's just get that. Don't ride my bumper. Go around me. If you really want to go that fast, go around me. I'm already going 10 miles over speed limit. I'm not trying to go anymore, especially I done had a couple speeding tickets. So it is what it is. Now, 18-wheelers. 18-wheelers scare me so much because they are so big. Most of the people driving 18-wheelers cannot drive. Their trucks barely fit inside the line of margins, and they want to be swerving and stuff because it's so much stuff. Their truck is so big, and they got to haul so much stuff. Like they can't control those cars. Growing up, my mom I always saw my mom do this, so I do this now. She never drives on the side of an 18-wheeler. She either stays behind them, or she lets it get to where she can just pass them up. She never stays on the side. And I do this to the day because I just seen so many people on movies and like in real life get hit by those 18-wheelers because they're swerving or, they don't see them because they're so small and they run right into them. Nah, I'm not having that happen to me. So I stay behind them or I get in front of you. I don't have a truck or nothing like that. And so that's one of my fears. Them things are just too big. I hate those things so much. Now, I'm gonna tell you I have a couple stories about times where I almost died 3 times in my life, from me driving bad, a friend driving bad, or just a stranger driving bad. The first one. So I'm about 19 or 20. I have an African friend, and we were at a party one time. It was my not my African friend. It was my homeboy. My homeboy's SUV. We was at a party. My African friend, he didn't drink at the time, and so everybody else was at a party. We was, a little fade and stuff like that. So we let the African friend drive. Granted, we knew he wasn't the best driver because of recent experiences. So before I finish the story, he drove the wrong way on a one way one time. Um, his car was always messed up. Like, he was not the best driver, but he was sober, so we let him drive. It was raining It was a rainy night. We was at a party. The party got shut down and moved to a different location. So my homeboy let my African friend drive. We coming down the highway now. Granted, like I said, it's raining. He's speeding while it's raining, and my homeboy already said, like, "Hey, my tires are not the best. Kind of slow down because we can't skid." My African friend was like, "Hey, whatever." As we exiting the highway, we got to go onto a U-turn. So normally, when you're doing a U-turn under a bridge, you're supposed to slow down while you turning. My African friend did not slow down. He was speeding as he was trying to turn, and so, like I said, the tires wasn't the best. It was raining, and he was going fast under a turnaround. He skids, hop up on the curve, and hit one of the medians and messes my friend's truck up. My homeboy was so mad, and we all yelling at him in the car like, "Yo, you supposed to slow down, this and this." We skid, we popped the curb. That was probably one of the scariest. We almost died because my African friend did not know how to drive in the rain and going under a U-turn. Another one. So this is probably a year or so after that one. I was at a party with some of my friends. It seems like all this stuff happens when I'm at a party, but I was at a party with my friends, and I had to be at work at 6:30 in the morning. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay until like 1 o'clock. I go home and get a couple hours of sleep. Somehow I end up staying out all night, no sleep, no nothing. It was a holiday, so we all getting drunk and stuff like that. Now, I stopped drinking so I can kind of sober up because I had to go to work. But I was mad tired. And so I end up driving to work, and it was probably about 20 miles away. So on the way there, I started falling asleep at the wheel. I started falling asleep, and I don't know how, but like I fell asleep for a good 5 minutes because I remember where I was at. I woke up. I was somewhere else. I was about a mile or so down the road, and I'm over here driving with my eyes closed. I don't know how I did it, but I was driving my eyes closed. All of a sudden, I literally went to sleep. I felt myself drifting to the left. They have little bumps. I felt the bumps for about a good half mile. I woke myself up, and like that was probably one of the hardest drives I had to make because I was so sleepy. Like I'm over every 5 seconds. I'm like this. I'm like it was, and I even fell asleep at work. I fell asleep for about 30 minutes at work. I worked at a park, and so I work in a ticket booth. I woke up after 30 minutes. I had a line of people outside because I fell asleep. I woke up, I was like, oh crap, and I was the only one there. That was a bad night. Lastly, this is last year. I was out driving for Uber, trying to make some extra money, and it had snowed, not necessarily snow, but like it was real cold. The roads were real slick. It was just like the snow had just came down, and like that's when the road is the slickest. I was going down a hill, but it was also curvy as well. I wasn't going fast, but somehow my tires weren't the best either, so that was another thing. I lost traction. I started drifting going down. I'm mashing my foot on the brakes, and that was not helping. I'm still drifting, and I drifted for a good like quarter mile. Man, that was probably one of the scariest scariest experience I had driving, because I could not. Luckily I learned that when you drifting, don't go the opposite way, because that's how you turn around. Kind of drift, steer into the drift, and you'll be okay. But I just wanted to do a quick little topic on driving, because I consider myself a good driver. I consider everybody else bad drivers, because at a lot of people, I've never been in an accident as far as car to car accident. I've been in the car with an accident, but I've never been the one driving and got into an accident. Everybody around me has gotten into an accident, so I've always considered myself one of the best drivers. And people hate when I say that, but it is what it is. But speaking on wreck, I forgot about the story. So a couple months ago, I'm out driving, delivering food for Uber, and I was in an apartment complex. I dropped the food off and everything like that. And so when you drive for Uber, it makes a noise when you have another delivery. So as I was at the gate was opening and I got the delivery. As I was turning, I got a food delivery. I looked down, turned. I wasn't going fast, but I must have been going fast. And by the time I looked up, I had hopped the curb, because so the gate code box, everybody's been in an apartment. The gate code box was in the middle of the road. It divides the two rows. You put the gate code in. As I turned, I must have turned wide, was not paying attention to what I was doing. I got an alert on my phone. I looked down for a second. I looked back up. I already had hopped the curve, and my car ran over the gate code box, and it was underneath my car. My car was sitting up like this. I didn't know what to do. I tried to hurry in reverse, but my car was sitting on top of the gate code, so I couldn't reverse. And so I was stuck. I was like, oh crap, they about to call the cops and stuff. But so I remembered, when you stuck like that, there was a curb right there. So I turned my car to the right, so that way my tire can catch the curb. I catch the curb. I finally able to reverse back. The gate code box is slanted down. It was all the way effed up. I sped out of there, and I was like, man, I can't leave the scene of the crime. So I went around the corner, just kind of check on my car to see what's going on. I had to go back. I had to call the police, and I had to call my insurance. It was a big old mess, but that was the only accident I ever been in. But it wasn't car to car, and like it was the craziest thing I ever been in, because I literally looked down at my phone for a second, looked up, I hopped the curve, ran over the gate code. And I think I still have the picture. Actually, no, I don't have the pictures anymore. I'm gonna put the picture in here, but I ran it over. It was in bad shape. But anyways, I hope these stories were fun for you. I hope this topic was fun. It was a little small topic on driving, because everybody knows some bad drivers. Everybody knows some good drivers. And if you don't know any bad drivers, 9 times out of 10, you are the bad driver. So you need to start driving a little bit better. You need to, if your friends don't get in the car with you, you are that bad driver. So anyways, I appreciate all the support. People keep listening. Like I said, all my stuff is going to be on YouTube. It's also going to be on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts. I'm trying to get it on Apple Podcasts, but please continue to listen. Please subscribe on YouTube, like the video on YouTube. Please listen on Spotify, listen on Anchor. I'm also on Caffeine. If you don't know what Caffeine is it's like a direct competitor to Twitch. It's for streamers. They have different shows on there. Streamers have different content on there. It's mainly for playing video games, but I'm gonna do my podcast on there. Excuse me. I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch as well. So whenever I get some extra bread, I'm gonna buy a game capture, and I'm gonna start streaming games on there. So follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Caffeine. You'll see my stuff at the top. Also, I'm gonna have another show, another podcast. It's gonna be called Big Rob's Favorite Five. So I'm gonna be putting out my top 5 favorite rappers, my top 5 best basketball players, my top 5 best quarterbacks, movies and vacation spots, different topics. I'm gonna do my top 5 so you can kind of get a glimpse of what I like and stuff like that. I'm gonna have guests on there as well, so they're gonna give their top 5, and we're gonna kind of go back and forth like why why they like this, but mainly it's gonna be me giving my opinion on such that. So that's look out for that as well. So I'm gonna have 2 shows coming. Twice a week. So please continue to support. Please continue to follow, listen. The main thing is please listen. Share, tell your friends about it. I'm trying to make this. I'm trying to do big with this. So I'm trying to stay consistent. So if I stay consistent, I will please like the support of people sharing and listening to it. So once again, this is Big Rob, aka Rob the Poet, or Open Your Mind Podcast. Remember, you may not like what I have to say, but keep an open mind before you make a judgment. Peace.